All right, I'm gonna work a problem, a pretty simple problem, and then I'm gonna make what I think is a really important point after I finish the problem. So please stay with me through that. So the actual work for this problem is absolutely not the point that I'm trying to make. Okay, so let's look at this. Find an equation for a line tangent to y is equal to x cubed minus 3x squared plus 4 at its point of inflection. All right, and then when you get done, put your answer in slope-intercept form. Okay, so the first thing I got to do is take the derivative of this. That'll be 3x squared minus 6x. All right, I got to do something with point of inflection. So I actually need to take the second derivative, which will be the derivative of this, which is, let's see, 6x minus 6. I need to set that equal to 0. If I set this equal to 0, solve for x, I think anybody can see that that's going to be x is equal to 1. Okay, so that is the x value at my point of inflection. All right, now I need to find an equation for a line. So I need a point and a slope. So let's see, take 1 and put it in place of x. You get 1 minus 3 plus 4. I think that's going to be 2. Okay, so my point is 1, 2. Now I've got to find the slope. That's my point, the slope. So let's see, put 1 in place of x here. So put 1 where the x is. And I get 3 minus 6 is negative 3. So the equation would be y minus 1 is equal to negative 3 x minus 1. And now I distribute the negative 3, so it'll be negative 3x plus 3, add 2 to both sides, and I'll get y is equal to negative 3x plus 5. Okay? And now that's sort of slope-intercept form. All right, well, this is a mess. This is a complete mess, which reminds me, many years ago, another life ago, I was the head football coach, athletic director of this small school down in South Georgia. One day, we were leading up to this day, we had a SACS committee come visit our school to grade us, SACS, Southern Association of Colleges and Schools. And they came in to observe our school and to give us a grade and make sure we were doing the things that we should be doing. I had an Algebra 1 class, and there was a lady that came to visit my class that was going to grade my class. Well, she walked in the door, and I could just tell. She was this fancy woman, whatever, and she knew I was the head football coach. I could just tell she had such negative, preconceived ideas about football coaches. She just knew that I would be chewing tobacco and spitting on the floor everywhere and scratching inappropriately and all this kind of stuff. So I said, man, I'm going to show this woman. So just like I said, it was an Algebra 1 class, and I don't remember exactly what I was teaching that day, but I do really remember that I taught my guts out. It was a room full of kids. I had a chalkboard, old-timey chalkboard, and so many of the kids were involved in my lesson. They were all awake and interested, and I'd ask a bunch of questions, and several of them would answer the questions. Different ones would ask questions. It was just a really good lesson, and I just had the board full of stuff. And I just taught my guts out. So the bell rang, all the kids left. I walked back to the where this woman was, and I thought, well, you know, even though she thought that I was like some football coach that couldn't teach school, I was going to work like crazy to represent every football coach in America. I just felt like I was had the weight of all of them on my shoulders. So I felt pretty good about myself. Felt like I did a good job for all the football coaches. Walked back to this lady, and my chest all blowed out. I was confident. Boy, did she have a different idea. Boy, did she rip me. Boy, howdy, did she hurt my feelings. She said, hey, that was a great lesson, everything, but I can't tell a single thing that you did on your board. And I turned and looked at my board, and it looked a lot like this. I mean, I would write something over here. A kid over there would ask a question. I'd go write something over in front of him or her, and then I'd go over here and write. I'd write, down the page. I'd go sideways. Down the board, go sideways. I'd write all over. And you couldn't see, you couldn't understand anything that I'd written. It was just a hot mess, sort of like this. I think most calculus teachers would see that, well, there is some decent calculus going on here, but nobody can tell. If you just look at it, what we normally do is start at the top of the page, go down, or start at the left side of a page and go to the right. Well, here, this right here was the first thing that I wrote. And then over here, this looks like the first thing that I wrote. I don't have anything denoted. I even left off my parentheses right here. It's just a hot mess. Even though if I had y is equal here, that would be the correct answer. So as a calculus teacher, if I were grading this, I'd have a hard time figuring out what to give this person. Well, so I learned that day down in South Georgia that it is really important, not only for me as a math teacher, algebra teacher, geometry teacher, calculus teacher, to model good behavior for my kids as far as organizing their work, presenting their work in a fashion where somebody could look at what they're doing and understand what they're doing, but also teaching them how to do that and demanding that they do that. Teaching them that when they get done, look at what their work is and know that the person that's looking at it does not have the opportunity to see how they did it. All they see is what it is at the end and judge that and see if it does make sense. So that's I think that's a really important point for us as teachers. We need to be neat and organized, and we need to teach our kids to be that way too.